Okay, here is what my final collage would look like. I just wanted to show you some of the things I did instead of showing you how I cut everything out and paste it on here. So basically you'll take your pictures into Photoshop just like you've done in the past with the potato head assignment, and you'll select around what part of the picture you want, cut it and move it to this blank document. So I started this collage by creating an 8 by 10. So I just did file, new, and then typed in 8 by 10 for my file size so that when I printed it, it would be an 8 by 10. So that's what you'll need to do first. So you'll start with a blank document like this one. So then the next thing I did was try and decide what I wanted my background to look like. I tried a few different things before I came up with what I had. At one point I thought about doing some leaves like these right here, and which also would be a cool background. So it just depends on you personally. You can use a picture, you can make it a solid color, whatever you choose to do. So maybe for this one I'll leave it like this. So then I decided to do this picture of my dog and me. If you look closely, it has some texture on it, and that is a filter. So to do this, you're going to go up here to filter and click on the filter gallery, and whatever layer you have selected over here, highlighted, like this little white box, will be what it will appear over here. So if I had these arrows selected, they would appear here. And then maybe I should show you with a picture that doesn't have one on it already. Let's do the soccer ball. So if I click on my soccer ball and then do the same thing, filter gallery, I can go through all these different cool effects. Like that one's kind of cool. I mean, you can spend lots of time just in this area of Photoshop. There's a lot of cool things here, so you can experiment with those. Maybe I'll go with that one and hit OK. And then it will apply it to the ball here. So that's another thing you can do. If you look at my arrows, they have a shadow on them. And if you look at these ones, I did a similar texture here, probably the last time I showed my class how to do this. So if you look right here, I have an effect and it tells me what effect it is. The effects are right here where it says FX. So let me find, I think I have it on everything probably. So if I double click on here, and I'm going to move my picture down so you can see my beef jerky. If I turn those off, maybe, I think my computer is over online school too because it doesn't want to function today. So these little eyeballs should let you turn off the layers. So if you look, that's what the image looked like when I took the picture of it. And then if I add my effects, this one made it look three-dimensional, and that's what a bevel does. And so to get that, you just click effects, and then I click on bevel and emboss. When you click on bevel and emboss, a screen like this will come up, and then these are all your different effects options. So if I uncheck that, it'll show you there's no effect on it, but if I click on it, it will go back to what I had last on there, and you can adjust all that kind of stuff here. So this really makes it look like there's some depth to the package, which I like. That's your effects. That's where you could do a drop shadow. So if you look at like this picture, I actually have a glow around it. So if I double click here, it will automatically open that. And then I did an outer glow and I actually changed the color to that light brown. Or you can have it become a gradient, so it'll fade from, kind of blend in there just a little bit better. So those are some cool things you can do as far as effects go. I'm going to add a new picture and show you how I do that in Photoshop. So if I want to add this picture of my daughter, I could select her out completely. I might select just along here so that she still looks like she's sitting on something. Photoshop has a cool feature that's going to guess what you're trying to select. I don't teach you this till you've actually learned some of the selection tools. So if you click on the magic wand and then up here it says subject select, if I click on that, it will guess what I would be trying to select out of this picture. So we'll see how good it does. So this is what Photoshop said I was trying to select, which is okay. So what you can do is hit select and mask. I use a mask a lot when I'm selecting things because it will show me in red what will be cut out and what I have selected. So I can actually use some tools over here to the left. This is the Refine Edge brush tool, and then I'm using my bracket keys to make my brush a little bit bigger. And then if I drag it along an edge, it will detect or clean up that edge just a little bit. And you can click on this over here, Smart Radius, which I use, and I change the radius up a couple of pixels so that when I use this tool, it will pick up and hopefully find the edge a little bit better. Sometimes I use just this brush when I know exactly what I want fixed and I feel like I can do it. Then I use that one as well. So I actually can also use the lasso tool, and I'm going to add to a selection. This would be subtract from a selection, and I'm going to add this part of the truck and probably the grass to my picture. So I'm going to go like this. Oh, I was on minus. Whoops. Let's change that. Oh, that one's add. Sorry. So I'm going to add this to my selection. And then I can always clean it up by minusing like that. Or maybe I don't want the whole tire in there. This is probably a harder picture to select than one I could have chosen. Her hair, this works pretty good for hair because hair is probably one of the hardest things to select. Oh, I want a minus from our mask. And it does not want to cooperate with me today. There we go. Sometimes I have to back it off a little bit because it's not being as picky as I want it to be. So kind of drag around her hair. That's doing a better job now. Hair is one of the hardest things to select. I'm going to add the flower in there. And, oh yeah, let's fix this right here. Sorry. Minus. Okay, and I'm going to hit OK, and then Command Copy or Command C, or you can go to Edit Copy, and then move this picture over here. So I can go Edit, Paste, or Command V or Control V if you're on a PC. And now I have my daughter on there, and I resize that just a little bit. And once I got her on here, I'm like, maybe I'll just leave her right out. She kind of fits right in that little pocket right there. And then I could do the same thing and add a picture of my son in there. And you can even mask. I'm going to show you the second way to mask once you put a picture in. So if I wanted to throw him up here, I might move this stuff down just a little bit. I'm going to click right here and say mask. This is a layer mask right here. And then I can use my regular brush and I can start painting over the top of it. This is probably one of the tools I use the most in Photoshop. So if I wanted to just kind of blend that picture in there and not completely get rid of all the background, we can use a layer mask. And all a layer mask does, if you look over here, all the black is showing me where I've painted. And maybe I'll move my husband and I over just a little bit, or maybe down a little bit. Then I don't have to cover up his head. Always make sure you click on this box when you're using the mask. And that just kind of blends it in there, and I don't have to remove all the background because I like the cute little chair that he's on. And I might bump him over just a little bit. All I'm doing is using my arrow key. And then clean up my mask just a little bit. The cool thing about a mask is if I accidentally went like that over his face, I could change my color back to white and bring that right back. That is why I love using layer masks, because it's not deleting the information. It is just, I'm going to add one to my daughter too. It is just covering or uncovering. So I'm going to change my color back to black. And then I can kind of clean up that edge where her hair is a little funky. So those are some of the things I do to create my collage. The other big thing is if you want one thing on top of another, you can rearrange the layers over here. You probably noticed I did that. If I brought this one up, then we would be on top there. So you can move all that kind of stuff around. Oh, there's my boots. Some boots there. I might clean up those. As you can see, I've already masked some on this one, but I might do it a little bit more. I masked it so that it matched the tree line. But we'll clean that up just a little bit. I just like mask because it allows you a lot of control over the picture and what's showing and what's visible, what's not visible type thing. So those are some things that I've done to my collage. You can rotate a picture like this if you go out to the corner. And really I could keep adding stuff all over this about things that I like to do and all that sort of thing. So if you have questions, let me know, but that should get you a basic start on how to do this. Make a blank 8x10, cut out your pictures, and then just start layering them on top of one another. Have fun.